This training video is designed to assist your club with setting up a meet in Swim Central. We have also designed a companion step-by-step guide for you to use along with this training video when setting up your meet. However, we do strongly encourage all clubs to contact us prior to publishing their meet in Swim Central so we can help ensure there aren't any potential hiccups that we could prevent for you. Please keep in mind that this is a slightly different process from the previous system, with some different fields and different terms. So please take your time, use this video in addition to the companion step-by-step guide, and remember, we are here to help, so please contact us if you need further assistance, either via email, admin.qld@swimming.org.au, or by phone 07 3390 2011. The first step is to check your Meet Manager file. Swim Central talks to Meet Manager much more than the previous system, which means that there may be some old settings in your Meet Manager file that didn't cause issues in the past, but may cause unexpected results in Swim Central. The first thing to check is that all events have ages set correctly. If the meet has open events, a minimum age can be set for these in Swim Central later on. The second thing to check is that the event entry fee has been correctly set for each event. This amount is what your club will receive per event entry. Keep in mind, if your club is registered for GST, your event entry fee in Meet Manager needs to be excluding GST, as Swim Central will apply GST. A 2.5% system fee and then a 1.5% transaction fee will be applied in the shopping trolley. Thirdly, we ask that you check that no other surcharges have been set in Meet Manager. Swim Central isn't able to read these as they were designed, so they need to be empty. This includes the athlete surcharge, facility surcharge, and team surcharge. It is important that your Meet Manager file is correct before uploading into Swim Central, as any errors in the Meet Manager file will mean that you need to restart the process within Swim Central. Step 2 is uploading your Meet Events file. Once you've checked that your Meet Manager file is correct, you will need to export your Meet Events file from Meet Manager. To do this, in Meet Manager, select File, Export, and then choose Events for TM. Pay particular attention here to the surcharges, making sure they're 0. OK, and save the file for use later in the process. We'll then sign in to Swim Central and navigate to Entity Home. So you'll have to enter your family administration PIN and use the blue Entity Management tile, entering the Entity Management PIN, and then selecting your entity. From your entity home, select the Events tile, and then use the Event Plus button. You'll need to ensure that you select the correct event type at this stage. In Queensland, we have a very clear set of meet types. For example, development, transition, and preparation. So please ensure you select the one that applies, as this does affect other settings for your meet, including approval of the meet and verification of the results. If you're not sure which to choose, please pause and contact us directly for further guidance. In the last field, upload the Meet Events file created earlier, and then select the Upload button. Step 3 is editing your meet. After uploading your Meet Events file, you'll be redirected to your event home screen. From here, the first thing we need to do is update the settings for the meet through the Edit button. The event edit form has a number of fields split into different sections. We will run through each section and field, but please keep in mind that the details of each field are also included in the companion step-by-step guide if you need to refer to it again in the future. In the first field, enter the name of your meat. Please ensure you use the meat naming template, which includes the year at the start and also includes your club's name and the type of event. For example, 2019 commercial long course transition meet or 2019 TAS long course preparation meet. Please also ensure that club nights are clearly named so that the meet is easy to find later. For example, Cairns Stingrays 1920 Club Night 1 would be easy to find both for us and your members. However, Club Night 1 would be quite difficult for everybody to find. The next field is name sponsors. This field's optional and you can use it if you have a naming sponsor for your event, but it's not required. The event description field is also option. You can use this if you like, and it will display in the event information that a member sees before entering the meet. Section 2 is qualifications. The first field is called Home Member Pinnacle Entity. The name of this field is a bit confusing, but the field is actually very simple. It means which members should be considered as a visitor and given a V. All meets run by Queensland clubs and regions need to set this field as Queensland. This means that any entrant who is not a member of a club in Queensland will be given a visitor V in the entry export. The next few fields are all about how a competitor enters your meet. The allowed minimum results timing field allows you to set what timing type can be used by entrants to enter your meet. Keeping in mind this is not what timing you'll be using for your meet, that field is later. The options are any. Entrants could use a time that was recorded at a meet that was run using any different type of timing. Manual. Entrants must have at least a manual time. Semi-electronic. Entrants must have at least a semi-electronic time. Or electronic. Entrants must have at least an electronic time. It's completely acceptable that this be set as any for all Queensland club meets. The course type field is automatically populated from Meet Manager, but please ensure you check this is correct. The next two fields are all about whether competitors can use non-conforming times to enter and how these times are handled. Non-conforming simply means the time was done in the opposing course. For example, a long course time is non-conforming for a short course meet, and a short course time is non-conforming for a long course meet. The qualification course conformance field allows you to set whether a non-conforming time can be used to enter the meet. The options are allow conforming only. This will mean that entrants can only use a time swum in a conforming course. So for example, if you're running a short course meet, it will only allow entrants to use a short course time. The second option is allow converted non-conforming. This will allow entrants to use a converted non-conforming time if they don't have a conforming time. So for example, for a long course meet, it will allow a short course time plus 2% to be used. The third option is allow unconverted non-conforming. This will allow entrants to use the unconverted non-conforming time if they don't have a conforming time. For example, for a short course meet, it would allow them to use a long course time. We encourage Queensland clubs and regions to select allow converted non-conforming. The next field is qualification seeding. This field allows you to set which seed or entry time is used for an entrant if they're using a non-conforming time to qualify. The options for this field are use race qualification time. This will mean that entrants are entered using the qualification time for that particular event and not the non-conforming time. The second option is use converted non-conforming time. This will mean that entrants are entered using their non-conforming time converted. So for a long course meet, a short course time plus 2% would be used. Or for a short course meet, a long course time minus 2% would be used. The third option is use unconverted non-conforming time. Entrants would be entered using their non-conforming time and it wouldn't be converted. We encourage Queensland clubs and regions to select use converted non-conforming. The next two toggle fields are about whether competitors can use a time from an unapproved meet or from a meet where results were unverified. It's common in Queensland for club race secretaries to prefer that competitors have a seed time, even if it was from a club night, compared to being shown with no time or NT. Therefore, for club meets, for example, development, transition, and preparation meets, we suggest that you toggle these two fields on. This means that a competitor is able to be seeded using a time from both approved and unapproved meets and verified and unverified results. Please get in touch if you'd like to discuss these fields further. However, in the particular example that I'm setting up, as a Queensland State Championships meet, we won't be allowing unapproved events or unverified results. The next field is earliest allowed qualification. This should have come through from Meet Manager. However, if the field was left blank in Meet Manager, it will be populated in Swim Central as the 1st of the 1st, 1970. You can change the date here, if needed, to restrict the earliest date for entry times to have been swum. The age update field allows you to set the age update for the meet. This should have been populated from Meet Manager, but please check it is correct. The next field is open event minimum age. This field is only required if your meet has open events, and it will ensure that swimmers below the entered age cannot enter an open event. If this information was populated in Meet Manager, it will come through, or you can set it here. Section 3 is where you will select the venue where you're hosting the meet. Only venues you've already associated or linked to your club will display here. Select the venue where you will host the meet from the drop-down. If you haven't associated or linked your venue yet, you can complete that process after this step, but before the next step. The next section is the event dates. Confirm these have populated correctly from Meet Manager. Next, the nomination opening and closing dates. Please note, at this stage, there isn't the capability for clubs to set the time that entries open or close in Swim Central. This will be coming in the future and is being worked on by our tech experts at the moment. The time is currently automatically set by Swim Central as 10 a.m. on the date that you enter. For example, if I enter 25th of July as the closing date, entries will close at 10 a.m. on the 25th of July. The reason that 10 a.m. is the time the system uses is due to UTC time. However, if your club can't work around this 10 a.m. time, we are able to manually edit the time field in the Swimming Queensland office if required. The next section is the timing that will be used at your meet. Select the type of timing that you'll be using to host your meet. For example, any, manual, semi-electronic, or electronic. Please keep in mind that certain event types do require meets to be conducted using certain timing types in order for the meet to be considered approved. You can refer to the table that's in the companion step-by-step guide for further information or contact us directly. The last section is called Event Settings. These settings are used by Swim Central to help keep your sessions from going over the intended maximum duration and to create the timekeeping roster. There's only really one field which you need to update at this stage. However, if you are looking to use these extra features for the added capability, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us to discuss. The lanes per race field is the one that you will need to update. Set the number of lanes that your meet will be using here. Everything else can be left as is. However, this is what each of the fields mean. Seconds between heats is the time between heats at your meet. Swim Central will use this time to calculate how long your session is, approximately, based on the number of entries, etc. The timekeeping minimum age field is used for the timekeeping roster and is the minimum age a person needs to be able to be allocated in the timekeeping roster. Seats per lane is the number of timekeepers per lane it will allocate in the timekeeping roster. Club host factor is used for creating the timekeeper roster to take into consideration that the host club is likely to have less volunteers available to timekeep, as they may have other roles they need to fill with these volunteers. We recommend keeping this field at 0.5. Seat duration per period allows you to set how long a timekeeper should be allocated during the session. And then the maximum duration per session field allows you to set both the maximum time a session should run, as well as how long any one timekeeper could be allocated during the entire session. Ensure you save once you've updated all fields. Step 4 is setting membership requirements. This is an extremely important step. It ensures that your meet is only open to eligible swimmers. By setting the membership products or components that need to be held in order for somebody to enter the meet. Keeping in mind, if this step is not completed correctly, it could cause your meet to be unapproved and results not verified. On the right-hand side of the event home screen, select the Requirements tab. Then, within the Memberships tab, select the Membership Plus button. In Queensland, most clubs are willing to accept entries from swimmers registered anywhere in Australia. For example, if a WA swimmer was on holiday in Queensland, they would be welcome at most club meets. If this is the case for your meet, you will use Swimming Australia as the business entity catalogue to set the membership requirements. This will mean that anybody who has a membership product which includes the Swimming Australia component selected, they will be eligible to enter your meet. You'll complete the Membership Plus process for each Swimming Australia membership component that will enable people to enter your meet. For example, the Swimmer 9 and over component and also the Swimmer 8 and under component. However, as we're currently in the transition period between seasons, we do suggest that clubs add both the 18-19 season products plus the 19-20 season products to allow all eligible swimmers to enter. If your club meet is restricted or you're setting up a regional championships, for example, you will need to select the lowest entity where all eligible swimmers would have a membership component. To help explain this step, I have some examples of different scenarios and the right options to choose. However, if you want to discuss a specific scenario that I haven't covered, please don't hesitate to get in touch. For a common club night, as club nights are typically only open to your own club and no other club, you would select your own club as the business entity catalogue. For most regional championships, as they are typically open only to members of that region, the region would select themselves as the business entity catalogue. In the case of a three-way club meet, if all three clubs are from the same region, you would select that region as the business entity catalogue. The specific clubs are restricted further in a later step. For regional championships that's open to members of that region plus another region, the region setting up the meet would select Queensland as the business entity catalogue, and the specific restricted regions would be selected in a later step. For Brisbane preparation meets, clubs would select Swimming Queensland as the business entity catalogue, and then they would list the allocated clubs and regions in a later step. Step 5 is setting entry restrictions. This step is optional, but as mentioned earlier, clubs and regions can choose to restrict their meet to only swimmers who have certain relationships or certain memberships. Some examples of types of meets that would use this restriction include three-way meets, regional championships, or the allocated Brisbane preparation meets. This restriction is done using the Requirements tab from the Event home screen. On the right-hand side of the Event home screen, within the Requirements tab, select the Relationships tab and then the Relationship Plus button. You will then, in turn, select and save each entity who entrants will need a relationship with to be eligible for your meet. For example, a club night where some second claim swimmers from a different or multiple different clubs are eligible to attend, you would include all of these clubs as well as the host to ensure that only swimmers with a relationship to one of these clubs could enter the meet. In the case of a three-way club meet, each of the three clubs would be added as a relationship here. For a regional championships, which is open to members of that region plus another region, each eligible region would be selected here. For Brisbane preparation meets, clubs are provided a list of clubs and regions to be added as relationships. For further assistance with this section, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. Keep in mind, if your meet is only open to members of your entity and you've selected your entity as the business entity catalogue in the previous step, you don't need to add a relationship as well. There are some other meet setup features that we wanted to let you know about. These are extra meet functionality, which is not required to be used by clubs and is not currently being used by Swimming Queensland. Some of these things are extras that we will look to use in the future, and others are being currently tweaked by the tech experts, so aren't quite ready for use yet. This includes tickets for spectators, and it's through the Ticks tab, which is on the right of the event home screen. Clubs have been successfully using this feature, but please note, purchasing of a ticket can't be made mandatory, so we do recommend, if a ticket is required, that clubs make this clear in their flyer or in their communication to people about the meet. Technical official nomination and allocation will be a feature that's coming and will be done through the Positions tab, but it's not currently ready for use. Step 6 is checking your sessions, races, ages, fees, and qualification times in Swim Central. It is critical that these details of your meet that came from Meet Manager are checked before you publish your meet. From the event home screen, on the right-hand side, use the Race tab. From the Races tab, we recommend that clubs check the session numbers, the session days, and the start date and time of each session. This estimated finish column will be updated as nominees start coming in. For more information about a particular session, select the detail icon to the right. We recommend that you check the event numbers against the event name here, as well as the ages. And then for more information about each particular event, select the detail icon again. From this screen, you can see the event entry fee for each event, keeping in mind that this is excluding GST. You can also see any qualification times that have been set. And once nominations start coming in, you'll see a list of nominees here for this particular event. We strongly encourage all clubs and regions to contact us at this point to assist you with this checking prior to publishing your meet to ensure everything can run as smoothly as possible. When you do contact us, please send us your meet flyer as well as your Meet Manager backup so we have all the information we need to help you check your meet in Swim Central. Club race secretaries can also do a manual nomination process using the individual plus button next to each event. You would select the swimmer, and if they have times, it will show on the right, or you can manually enter a time for them. If they have a time, you will need to impersonate them and add it to the trolley, keeping in mind that this will be added to your own personal trolley. To complete a manual entry, use the individual plus button from the event, select the swimmer, and use the manual tab, keeping in mind if they have a time, it will show on the first recorded tab, but you will need to impersonate them, which will add it to your own personal shopping trolley to complete it that way. Using the manual tab, enter their time, the course, and the date that they swam the time, and you can enter a reference as well. and click Nominate. The swimmer will need to accept the entry and pay, which is why these two icons are showing red here before the entry is valid. They can accept the entry in their My Events tile in their My Upcoming Events tab using the Accept button, keeping in mind they will need to still process payment for the entry as well. Step 7 is publishing your meet. Once you've checked your meet and are comfortable that it has been set up correctly, you can then publish it using the Publish button from your event home screen. Your meet will be automatically visible to anybody who holds a membership product with your entity. However, if you would like your meet to be visible to a wider audience, you can contact us directly and request that your meet be made visible to certain other clubs and regions. This extra level of visibility is done through a process called meet association. Any entity who has associated themselves with your meet will be able to see the meet in their calendar, and their members will be able to see it in their calendar. This is also the way that clubs can view which of their swimmers are attending particular meets. Clubs complete the meet association process through their events tile using the link button. They search for the entity hosting the meet and select the relevant meet from the calendar to view more information, and then use the Associate button. Once your meet has been published, swimmers can start nominating. At this stage, swimmers will use their Events tile from Swim Central to locate your meet and nominate. However, embedding capability is coming to allow clubs and regions to publish a direct link for their meet on their website or in their flyer, and we will advise clubs and regions when we have clear instructions for you on how to do this. To nominate, the parent signs into Swim Central, unlocking their family administration PIN, and navigating to the home screen of the swimmer they want to enter. Using the Events tile, they locate the meet in the calendar, selecting it to view more information on the right, selecting the Nominate button. This will show them a list of races or events based on their gender and age. They can click on an event to see information about qualification times and any seed times they have, and then they can use the Add to Trolley button. If the Add to Trolley button is greyed out or not clickable, this means that the parent hasn't entered their family administration PIN, and they can do that using the lock icon in their navigation bar. Once they've added all races to their trolley, they can process payment and finalise the entry from their shopping trolley in their navigation bar. To check that the nomination has been successful, access the Events tile, and My Events or My Upcoming Events will show on the right-hand side, including each of the race nominations. The parent will have also received a confirmation email. You can view a list of attendees at any point from the Attendees tab from your event home. After your meet closes, entries can be downloaded using the Export button. At this early stage, we are doing a number of checks after entries close to pick up any potential anomalies. So we strongly encourage clubs to stay in contact with us throughout the full meet process so that we can continue to assist them. After your meet has run, you can upload your results into Swim Central using the results button, which will only appear after the meet has been published. Swimming Queensland then need to verify these results in Swim Central before they can be used by swimmers. Please ensure you also email through your results, including both the Meet Manager backup file as well as the results for TM file, through to Swimming Queensland as soon as possible after your meet has run. Please email these results to results.qld@swimming.org.au. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this training video. Please use this training video along with the companion step-by-step guide to create your meets in Swim Central. Please don't forget we are here to help, so please get in touch via email or phone if you need our assistance.